Hey everybody, this is Brett, and tonight I've got a video in which I would like to say, naner, 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 I told you so, to the raw foodists out there that believe in eating a 100% raw food diet. And I'm going to be able to continually do that more and more as more and more of the big YouTube gurus, raw food gurus, that have been eating a raw food diet all these years come out and admit that that's not the best diet to eat. And now Monarch is saying that he believes that most people can be just as healthy with eating a partially cooked food diet and raw food diet. And also now Sundance, and I'm going to put the link to the video down below. Now Sundance is saying that he and his family are no longer eating an all raw food diet, and that they're eating quinoa and some other cooked foods, and that they feel better than ever. And I've been saying this for years, that it just doesn't make sense to go back to a monkey, a primate diet. And that we have progressed the way that we've progressed. And the reason that we're as advanced as we are now is because we discovered fire and we started cooking foods, and then we discovered grains and we started consuming those, and those helped us to develop our minds. And those people that go back to consuming a diet like monkeys are going to lose some of their faculties eventually, because they're not getting certain nutrients that they need to be able to maintain their genetic profile. Does this make sense? And, you know, I've got a long way to go. I'm still cleansing. My lip is still sore, and my digestive system is still healing from having consumed antibiotics prescribed to me by dermatologists for my acne, and Accutane. I highly recommend that everyone stays cleared away from all doctors, unless it's like an emergency or something. But you're going to see that gradually all of the YouTube gurus, let me go back just 1 second. Sundance's kid came up to him and asked him if he could eat cooked foods. Now kids, they have good instinct, and they're not acting from the ego like adults are. And those raw foodists that come to realize and listen to their little voice and consume some cooked foods, especially in the winter time, then those are the ones that are going to be true to themselves. Because what we're going to see is some raw foodists will stick to their guns no matter what their little voice is telling them, and others will get smart, and instead of losing their health, long-term health, they're going to come back to eating some cooked foods. And it's so important to eat a wide variety of foods and to go with the seasons. And one of the most important foods that a person, or books that a person can read, is Healing with Whole Foods. My favorite book of all time, Healing with Whole Foods by Paul Pitchford, 3rd edition. It's been out for a long time. And it teaches you about all the different qualities of all the different kinds of foods and their thermal nature, so that you know. And you'll see that the summer foods are very cooling generally, and the winter foods are very warming. And so we need to listen to that logic of Mother Nature, and not the illogic of David Wolfe and Doug Graham. So I told you so, and you're going to see more and more of the raw foodists coming to grips. And the reason that people have had success with the raw food diet is because they were so far out of balance before. Maybe they were eating junk food. Maybe they were eating all cooked food. And they decided that they wanted to radically swing to an all raw food diet, and some of them were able to do that quickly, depending on how strong their organs were and how toxic they were, how old they were, etc., etc. It all depends on the individual. But eventually everyone needs to level out to a diet that is logical. A logical diet. And if you need to swing hard to eat raw for a while, cool. But remember what the logical diet is. And the logical diet is a diet of non-glutinous grains like quinoa, amaranth, and millet, and buckwheat. Beans, all of them except soy. All of the different colored beans, and the big ones have to be cooked. They have to be cooked. And those are the more winter beans. And the little beans are for the summer, the lentils and more peas and azuki beans. And the leaf lettuces, that's more of a summer deal. Now, bear in mind that some foods can be grown in greenhouses or sunrooms in the wintertime. And I need to learn a lot more about that. And keep watching John Kohler's videos. But let's see. Seaweeds, year-round. All different varieties of seaweeds. And in the wintertime, sauerkraut for sure. In fact, all year round, sauerkraut. Especially in the wintertime, though. Less fruits, and I'll admit, I still have not been able to cut down that much, somewhat, on the fruits. The fruits are very cleansing, and we need to, in the wintertime, gradually get less and less fruits in our diet. More and more, especially in the fall time when they're in season. Logic, that's where it's at with all of this. In the wintertime, we build up a lot more fat in our bodies, and we'll be eating a lot more nuts and seeds. And then in the summertime, and if you're a meat eater, in the summertime you're eating more fish, and in the wintertime you're eating more heavy meats. Dairy, that's not a food. And gradually I highly recommend that people get off of all meats. Especially if you're a type A blood person like me. Or maybe you just have the desire to not consume animals and to become a kinder and gentler and more progressive person. And that's what you will eventually get to be if you get off of consuming animal foods. Doesn't it make sense that consuming animals is just a more aggressive thing and something that eventually human beings will be forced to not do anymore when all the animals are toxic and full of various infectious diseases? And so we've got to progress towards a lot of different things, not just diet though. And I'm going to put the link to that video. I'm not sure if I said that or not. The link to this video. Oftentimes I enjoy watching Sundance because he is a very... He tells it like it is, like I do. And he's not afraid to admit that he's doing whatever. And he's not afraid to change and just do whatever is required for him to be healthy. And that's the deal with me. Maybe someday I'll move to a tropical region and eat a significantly higher proportion of raw foods. I'm trying to do that anyway. And heal my gut. And I'm eating more and more sauerkraut all the time. Hugely important for healing my digestive system. And so I want to thank you for joining me, and I'm not trying to rub anybody the wrong way too much, but, once in a while it is fun to say, nanner, nanner, I told you so. And thank you so much, and please subscribe. Be well.